All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something super important for anyone who works with Fanuc robots, the 3 different startup modes. You know, knowing the difference between a hot, a cold, and a controlled start, it's not just some nice-to-know fact. It's all about saving time, fixing problems, and really, just keeping that production line humming.
So just imagine this for a second. The whole line just grinds to a halt. Your robot is down. And you know every single second of downtime is just money flying out the window. Your first thought is probably just to restart it, right? But whoa, hold on a sec. How you restart it? Well, that makes all the difference in the world.
The best way to think about these startup modes is like having 3 different tools in your toolbox. I mean, you're not going to use a giant sledgehammer to tap in a tiny little nail, right? And you wouldn't try to knock down a wall with a tack hammer. Each one of these starts, hot, cold, and controlled, it's got a very specific job, and grabbing the right one is absolutely key.
So let's go ahead and lay our toolkit out on the workbench. We're going to take a look at what each of these 3 tools actually does, when you should use them, and maybe most importantly, what really happens to your robot's program and all its data when you use each one.
Okay, so here's the big picture, the 30,000-foot view. Your hot start, that's basically your quick resume button. A cold start, that's a full system reboot, just like restarting your computer. And the controlled start, well, that's like booting up in a special admin mode to do some serious configuration. And look, notice that huge difference in program status. Only the hot start lets you pick up exactly where you left off.
Let's grab our first tool from the box, the hot start. This is your go-to, the one you'll use most often to get things back up and running with as little downtime as possible. It really is the simplest and fastest fix for most of those everyday hiccups. The main idea here is that a hot start is kind of like waking your computer up from sleep mode. It doesn't do the whole long boot up sequence. Instead, it remembers everything that was going on right before it stopped, all the variable values, the I/O status, and its exact spot in the program. So when are you reaching for this tool? Well, after an e-stop, or maybe a quick power flicker or some minor alarm that you've already cleared. The big takeaway is this. You use a hot start when you haven't changed anything in the system, and you just want to get that production cycle going again as fast and as smoothly as you can. It's all about speed and continuity. Okay, but sometimes, the quick fix just isn't going to cut it. You need something with a little more oomph. So let's move on to our next tool, the cold start. This is the classic, the universal IT solution for everything. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Now, unlike a hot start, a cold start is a complete system reboot. It forces the controller to go through its entire boot process right from scratch. And the most important thing to get here is that it reinitializes variables. It basically wipes the robot's current operational state clean and loads its saved configuration fresh from the top. This is your tool for the bigger jobs. Did you just load some new software or maybe change a really important system parameter? You need a cold start to make those changes actually stick. Is the robot just acting weird in a way you can't really explain? A cold start can often get rid of those little gremlins. And, this is a big one, after you restore a backup, a cold start makes sure that everything loads in correctly. And finally, we've got the most specialized tool in our whole kit, the controlled start. This is not for your everyday problems. This is the master key. It's the admin mode that lets you get into the robot's deepest, most fundamental settings. Think of a controlled start as kind of like a special gateway. Yeah, it's technically a type of cold start, but its whole purpose is to let you into these configuration menus that are normally locked away. You're not using this just to get the robot running again. You use it to fundamentally change how the robot is set up in the first place. So, when do you need this master key? Well, you need it when you're doing a full system restore from a backup, or if you have to change some of those protected system variables. It's also used to set up special software options. This is really the territory of advanced users and integrators, the people performing major surgery on the system. Okay, so we've seen the tools, but now we have to talk about the question that I'm pretty sure keeps every single operator up at night. What happens to my programs? What happens to my data when I do this? Let's break down the most critical part of all of this. This right here shows you the core difference perfectly. A hot start is all about preservation. It keeps the robot's current state exactly the way it was. A cold start, on the other hand, it's all about resetting. It intentionally wipes that temporary operational state so it can start fresh from its saved configuration. Let's get really specific. With a hot start, your variables, they keep their values. Your I/O, it stays in its last state. And this is the big one. The program pointer remembers exactly which line of code it needs to run next.
With a cold start, all of that gets reset. Variables go back to their default values, I/O resets, and the robot completely forgets where it was in the program. Now listen up, because this is probably the most important thing you'll hear today about your data. People hear the word reset and they panic, right? They think all their programs are gone forever. But a cold start resets the temporary, in-the-moment operational data. It does not erase your permanent files. All your hard work is safe, I promise.
So just to be perfectly 100% clear, your teach pendant programs, all those system configuration files you've set up, any backups you've saved, they are completely safe during a cold start. The stuff that gets reset is the temporary stuff. The current value of a variable, the status of an output, the line number it was on, and the system is built this way on purpose to make sure you get a clean, predictable startup every single time.
So there you have it. The quick fix, the full reboot, and the master key. Each one is an incredibly powerful tool when you use it the right way. So the next time you walk up to a stopped robot, you're not just going to be thinking about restarting it, you'll be thinking like a pro, choosing the exact right tool for the job. So, which one is it going to be?